A lot of email marketing agency owners and freelancers I talk to are still stuck in client delivery. They're stuck doing the client strategy. They really struggle to delegate and define roles, and they don't always trust the team around them to deliver at the standard that they're used to delivering. At my agency, FlowCandy, we've scaled to $7 million, and I haven't done delivery in years. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the framework that I used on how I was able to really delegate client delivery to a high-performing team that is now much better at delivering email marketing services than I ever was. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to walk through everything. And in the link in the description, I'm going to give away a lot of the resources that I walk through here today. I'm giving them away for free. So just click on the link and you'll be able to download them. But the biggest key that helped me escape was really creating scorecards. And I'm going to give away our scorecard template here that we use at FlowCandy. So every time, everybody on our entire team, I have a team of over 30, somewhere between 30 and 40 people now at FlowCandy. And every single person on the team, including myself, has a scorecard. And this is the exact template we use. I got to give props. I got this. This template is mostly built off a program we did years ago called 2X from Austin Neltsy. So check that out. This is where we got it. And then my CEO, Ashlyn, kind of also took it to the next level. But this is our exact scorecard, and I'll walk you through it right now. Basically, every single role in our company has this. We have a vision, like a role vision, then their sort of vision for the role. So we got to make sure we're aligned there. And then we try to find 3 to 5 KPIs to grade every role on. And then every month, this person, whether it's a designer, an account manager, a developer, someone on our operations team, someone in our growth team or HR team, they meet with their manager and they go through their scorecard. And at the end, they basically get a score. And we literally grade people A, B, C, D, E, F players, and we really only try to keep the A players or people that are B players that we think could one day be A players. And so this is the system. And every single role has core responsibilities. Every single role we also grade off our values. This is really, really important. I'm not going to get too much into it in this video, but in my experience, what truly makes an A player, and again, I've borrowed this a lot from Vern Harnish's Scaling Up, so I would check that book out too. But we basically use 80% of how he frames an A player. There's 4 ways that make an A player. One is, do they have grit, or basically, do they work hard? This is the most important thing. And really, we kind of retooled it, and it's like, do they have grit? Basically, what we mean by that is, like, if we don't give them everything, are they going to find a way to just get stuff done? That is sort of the most important thing we're looking for when hiring people. The second thing is, are they a values fit? Our values are really, really important at FlowCandy. We talk about them all the time. And then the last 2, which is what most companies focus on, but in my experience, they're actually the least important, is, do they have the skills or the track record, and do they get the results? Okay. My experience is, if you find somebody that has a lot of grit and is a good values fit, they're going to find a way to acquire the skills and get the results. All right. So that's just my experience, but it's important to have all these scorecards, to have everybody on a scorecard. And again, and you can go at the link below and copy ours. Okay. Now, a lot of questions I get around scorecards is, okay, like, what KPIs, what roles do you need in an email marketing agency, and what KPIs should I use for each role? So I'm going to walk through some of the ones we use here at FlowCandy. Again, I've linked this in the description so you can sort of download this yourself. But for our account managers, we really like to grade them on a couple of different KPIs. One is the lifetime value that they have for each client. So how long the client lasts. Also, the total revenue of the pod or the squad that they're managing. And And then the client NPS score, like how happy is the client on a scale of 1 to 10. And we sort of collect that throughout different stages of the project. And then the client status, which I'll get into in a second. There's a couple different, it's a sort of a unique KPI we invented at FlowCandy. I get a lot of questions on how to hold like creatives accountable. Because if you think about like a designer, a copywriter, even a developer, if you want to bundle them in as a creative, it's not always the most like quantitative field. Okay, it's very qualitative, it's very subjective. So how do we create? How do we basically create KPIs for them? So one thing we do is don't be afraid to blend the KPIs across roles. Okay, so don't be afraid to say, okay, well the account manager is responsible for client NPS, but also the designer is responsible for the client NPS. Also, the designer might be a little bit responsible for revenue as well. So don't be afraid to have multiple KPIs for different roles. But the big thing we did, and this is something I think is unique, is we created like our own KPIs basically for some of these creative roles. And so what we do is we have a client dashboard. And again, I'm going to link to this in the description so you can get it in the resources section. But every week, our account managers go through and meet. They have like a weekly tactical call. If you've watched any of my videos below, if you've watched any of my videos, I'll link to another video I have on really what it looks like at running like a $30,000 to $100,000 a month email marketing agency. But you should be doing like weekly tacticals and daily stand-ups. Okay. And again, this is something that, again, I did not invent. This comes from a lot of different sort of operating systems that are coached out there. The most famous one is Traction by Gino Wickman, and Entrepreneurial Operating System. But a lot of these operating systems, they recommend having daily stand-ups, weekly tacticals, weekly deep dive calls. And so we have all different types of weekly deep dive calls now going on, but our account managers have a weekly deep dive call, and they go over every single client that they're managing, and they sort of grade, okay, what's like, is the client happy? Are they a vampire? This is a unique one we built where it's like, are they kind of sucking the energy out of the team? Is this somebody that we want to work with? What's their LTV? Is the copy good? And from the account manager's point of view, from how the client feels, is the copy good? Is the design good? Is the development good? Is the lead time good? Okay. And this is basically how we score our creatives. Okay. And basically, if the copy is coming back, is getting reviewed all the time, and the client is flagging copy or saying things on Slack or wherever you manage the client relationship, that the copy or the design is no longer good, then coming back to their scorecard and coming back to their KPIs, you can then sort of score them, be like, hey, you're doing a good job, but maybe this one client, you missed the mark. So that's how we do it, how we really create KPIs for creatives within an email marketing agency. And you could use this for really any agency where you're using creatives. But I have found that a lot of owners or directors of operations, or whoever is sort of like building out the operating system within an agency, they get stuck here. They don't know how to quantitatively hold certain creatives accountable. So that's how we do it. Moving on, like a couple other roles that are really important. So director of fulfillment, this is somebody who kind of oversees the entire fulfillment or delivery team. We look at like NPS. We look at like churn. You could even put churn in for the account managers. We also do employee NPS scores. So we like to score, or we like to figure out how happy on a scale of 1 to 10 are our employees. Because in my opinion, if the employees are happy, you take care of the employees. A lot of times they'll take care of the clients. Team utilization, how much capacity does the team have? We don't want to overwork the team, but we also don't want to underwork the team. My experience with A players is like, if you don't give them enough work, they tend to leave. So you want to find that healthy balance. Then the CEO, at one point was the CEO of my agency. I've transitioned out, but if you're certainly an agency owner right now and you're the CEO of your agency, I think some of the core roles of a CEO is you got to make sure you have good people. You got to make sure you're hitting sales goals, profit goals, and then you got to make sure you don't run out of money. So basically, that's how we built our CEO scorecard. Revenue, TTM, which is trailing 12-month revenue. Like, what's the revenue trend line looking like? What's the profit looking like? The profit trends. Do we have enough working capital, savings, and then like people wise, like, do we have A players? Like we know how many A players we have within our company at any given time. So this is like very, very important to know that. Director of growth. So this is somebody who sort of oversees the sales and marketing team. We're looking at traffic, leads, how many new clients are coming in, how many renewals are coming in. You get kind of bundled together the most important sales and marketing KPIs. Sometimes in our company, we have like different marketing roles too underneath the director of growth that kind of have these KPIs. From a sales perspective, I've seen that most email marketing agencies, they have like a closer or some sort of setter sometimes. So you want to be tracking, okay, like how many audits are you doing? These are like sort of the audits that you use to propose new client work. How many clients do you have in negotiation within your pipeline? How many new clients are you getting? How many renewals are you getting? A setter, they might be more responsible, more like middle of funnel, like how many introductory calls, or we call them disco calls or discovery calls. I've heard all sorts of phrases here. Sometimes they're called triage calls. Sometimes they're called strategy sessions. Basically like a 15, 20-minute type call where you're qualifying the clients. Sometimes the setters do audits, but a lot of times that's the closer or a senior auditor or something like that. And then there's a whole operations side of the business. There's a back office side of the business. Sometimes you even split up operations in HR. But these types of roles, again, sometimes these roles aren't as it's hard to figure out the KPIs for them, but again, it can be pretty straightforward. In my opinion, it's like revenue, like almost like revenue collected, making sure revenue gets collected. LER, which I'm not going to get into this, but this is labor efficiency ratio. Really, really important KPI. Big unlock for us to making sure like we stayed profitable. ENPS, client profitability. So again, I'm going to link this all in the description, guys, but this is the basic framework of how we build scorecards within my agency. And in my opinion, scorecards are super important. If you're an owner or a freelancer and you're still stuck in client delivery, you got to create scorecards. Every single person on your team has to have a scorecard, and it might take a little bit of time to figure out the scorecards, to make sure you can define the roles properly and delegate them properly. But hopefully this video really, really helped you come up with the KPIs and gave you a little bit of sort of inside knowledge on how we're doing it at $1 million plus agency like FlowCandy. So thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.